Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Zero Strategy Gamer and this is Taskmasters, where every Tuesday I go up against other YouTubers to design ships in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Now this is Season 1, Episode 2, and we have got some work to do because last time I got a bit cocky. I pointed out that I had won the previous tasks and promptly scored 0 points in the last one. And that of course means that for this new format where we're going in for seasons and episodes, we are starting with 0 points here on episode 2. So we definitely need to recoup some points. Just as a brief overview of last episode, because it was really unglorious, not just to me, but to every contestant, neither of us scored any points. In fact, we all were sunk without scoring any of the objectives. So that means at least we are on an equal footing still, with all having scored 0 points. But we want to do better this time. So what's going to be the task and what do we have in mind here? This episode is going to be Battlecruisers. And that does mean we are going to be playing as Russia against the Germans, which are already here. We are actually going to start at 30,000 meters. We are of course going to design battlecruisers, 2 of them, but we're going to go up against a very formidable German fleet, and that is going to be 1 battleship, 1 battlecruiser, 1 heavy cruiser, and 2 destroyers, but no light cruisers. So that is going to be quite a fleet that we're going to go up against here in Alpha 12. I think this is going to be much tougher than it might have been before. So that's very interesting and very unique. So very much looking forward to that. And we've got 1 design restriction. That is, we cannot use any duct torpedo tubes. And other than that, we are going to score points as follows. We are going to score 1 point if we sink the battlecruiser. We're going to score 2 points if we can sink the battleships. We are going to score a point if we don't suffer any torpedo hits or flash fires on our side. And lastly, we can score another point if we're only designing with a very long range and minimum bulkheads. So this is going to be a tough one, but I think that's actually what we're going to start with. So we are going to go with a very long range minimum bulkhead. That is going to guarantee us at least a single point, but it will make it more difficult to score all of the other points because... Let's actually check that. So that's 15,000 tons, and this is well, that's 2,400 tons or so. That's not insignificant. Well, let's see. Which hull are we going to use? Battlecruiser 4, large cruiser. I think the modern battlecruiser is fine. It does have the highest displacement. It looks fine to me. So yeah, we're going to use that. We're of course going to use the best stuff here because there's absolutely no restriction on this whatsoever. So I don't see any point not doing this. We're simply going to go up against that. Now here's the first interesting choice maybe. Anti-torpedoes. We might actually not want to use that. We might want to hope that we can score this episode without suffering any torpedo hits, because I think we want to go big. So I'm going to ignore that for now. We are going to use some anti-flooding because that might come in useful. Of course the bulkheads are still fine, but I don't think we are going to use the double bottoms here because they are mostly there for torpedo protection and really not that much else. So I think that's going to be fine. We're going to use that as is. Yeah, bam, let's do it. We probably going to use the fast tower here because we do need to do some damage here with our guns. I guess the light secondary tower here is fine. That does leave us some room to use for various armaments. Let's pull that back as far as possible. Let's take a look at the funnels here. So at the current speed of 33.5 knots and forced boilers, we are running at 100% efficiency. Now that's great. Would that look the same with this one? Nearly so. That's 240 tons for not much in terms of engine efficiency. But I guess what the other thing that we could do is dial this up a little bit. Yeah, let's go to 34.5 knots. I think that's fine. That's still almost 99% engine efficiency, so I think that's going to be alright. Right, now that's a good basis here. We've got a lot of room to play around with. We've got a good setup. We've got quite a bit of weight left, 20,000 tons or so. Looking good to me, I think. Right, let's talk guns. Now, we have 18-inch guns Mark II, Mark III on the 16-inch guns. And only on the 13-inch guns we do get to Mark IV. So, between these, I'm guessing Well, you're much more accurate, but I'm guessing the 18-inch guns are going to make much more damage. 1,500, yeah, that's almost twice as much damage. Of course, the rate of fire is much lower, and the accuracy is lower. You know what? Let's go for the 18-inch guns. So that's fine. 3 barrels or 4 barrels. Now, let's take a nice one here. None of these numbers are really nice. Well, I guess 5,000 meter, 80%. We're losing 4%. Oh, that's a lot. That's 25% or so lost. I think we're going to go with the 3 barrels here. Can we fit that in here? No, we can't. Now, I know my contestants always use superimposed. Does that work? Probably not, right? Yeah, no. Didn't think so. Standard, maybe? Nope. Maybe tall? Nope, still not. Yeah, my competitors kind of always use that. But yeah, that looks much better. But I often don't, and the reason for that is I find that the firing arcs are often still very much favorable to us if we are using them sort of like this. You can see even the rear gun here can almost fire all the way to the front here. And given that we're mostly playing with smaller fleets, not the huge World War I fleets, I think this is fine. It doesn't need to fire. It doesn't need to be super firing if it can, in fact, almost fire in any other direction. Right, now that's a huge forward offset, which I really dislike to see. Well, we can pull you back, but that probably means we're going to have worse layout there. Right, how far can I pull you guys back? Answer, not that far. Really only until here. Well, I can certainly pull the gun back a little bit, can't I? Yeah, but only a little bit, it seems. Right, up until here. You guys, let's say you go here. That's still an awful lot of forward offset. Right, can I put the funnel onto this thing? Yeah, I can. Doesn't really change much, but it does change a little bit. Yeah, that restricts the rear gun there a little bit too much for my taste. That's a lot of offset. Now, I could, of course, put another gun there on the rear, but I'm slightly concerned about the amount of weight that we are using here. Right, let's use a couple of secondaries. 18-inch guns, that's all Mark 4, so yeah, I'm guessing we're going to use these guys. Can place one over there. I'm guessing we can place one here in the middle. Slightly odd placement, but I guess it's okay. We could put one on either side. Doesn't really make that much sense to me. We can put you here, but that is going to give us even more offset there, so not necessarily what I like to see. Right, anything else I can place on these little emplacements here? 5-inch guns, yeah, let's do that. Maybe somewhere over here? Like so, yeah. Yeah. We do need some secondaries to go up against the destroyers. I really dislike that, but I think there's nothing that we can do unless we are reusing some different gun layout here. Can I put you further to the rear? Oh yeah, I can actually. I didn't put you all the way to the rear there. Oh, that's fantastic now. Now that's actually a little bit too much aft offset here. But if we can place you a little bit to the front here, yeah, but that looks good. Okay, I like to see that. Can I sneak you in here maybe? No. Well, you know what? I think it's going to be fine. So let's pick super heavy guns. What are we going to use here? Now, remember, one of the things that we do not want to see is flash fires. So I'm even thinking tube powder might be a good one here. It is going to increase shell penetration, which is going to help against the battleship. Shell damage is always welcome. High explosive damage lowered, that's not great. And muzzle velocity is not great either, because that does reduce accuracy at range. But that being said, the fire, no, I dislike the high TNT in this case. So let's go for 2 powder here. I think it's going to be alright. We're going to use auto and some hydraulics. Don't think we need much. We are going to start at a huge range here, and we do not want to get hit by any torpedoes. So I think these are sort of the must things that we do need to do there and there. Right, we cannot use overwater torpedo tubes, but we can use underwater torpedo tubes. Thing is, I dislike sort of their firing arc. They're so bad. It just doesn't make much sense to me. Come on, game, please do recognize that this is not a poor firing arc here on any of that. Right. Could go a little bit faster, but I do think we need to bring up the armor, and that is certainly something that we do like to do on this channel here. Yeah, that's looking good to me. Let's go to 25 inches maybe here. Conning tower shouldn't be neglected. Yeah, that's looking not too bad. 25 inches now? Yeah, that's nice. Okay, that's starting to look pretty good here. Secondaries, I guess we can ignore these a little bit. Turret tops, I'm thinking that should be slightly more than the deck at least. 25 inches, can we do 20 here maybe? And then just 27.5 maybe? Yeah, I do like to have a very well armored ship. Let's bring that up here. Okay, we don't probably need 45 inches. I think 35 are going to be fine on the conning tower. And then we're going to invest the rest into the turret. There we go. That's 32.5 I think is a good number. Right, let's do it like this. Forward offset is a little bit on the high end, so maybe we're going to pull that back a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice setup here. Good. Good amount of forward facing firepower, not ridiculous though. This is not a ship of Spartan 43. Some secondaries, didn't completely ignore those. And a rear turret that can almost fire all the way to the front. I like it. I like it. Right, let's launch this and see what we're gonna get. So, hopefully this is gonna work out in our favor. Now, remember, we do need to sink the battleship for 2 points. We do need to sink the battlecruiser for 1 point. We shouldn't suffer any torpedo or flash fires. That would give us another point. And we have already scored the first point here by using a very long range and minimum bulkheads. So we could potentially score 5 points here and make due for our loss in the last week. That was really tough. Let's see what the AI is going to come up with. I think it has gotten much better with Alpha 12. That was probably one of the reasons why all of us failed last week around. So yeah, let's see what they've got. Ooh, well, already their battleship looks pretty intimidating. I do count only 2 turrets though here in the front. And maybe something secondary there in the rear. Battlecruiser also seems to be interesting in that it has 2 rearwards facing towers, and I can only see 1 forwards facing one. But let's see. Right, can we already spot you? Yeah, we can. Okay, so let's look at the battleship here. Right. Yeah, 2 forward facing gun turrets. They look humongous though. 20-inch guns. Now that is not a good look for us. 12 17-inch guns on the battlecruiser too. That's a lot of guns, my friends. That's pretty hefty. 12 7 what do we consider to be the higher risk factor here? The 4 20-inch guns or the 12 17-inch guns? Yeah, we'll need to check who we are going to be able to shoot first. So, yeah, that's a 0% hit chance on either. Well, I'm thinking probably you're going to be harder to hit because you're going to maneuver more. But I think it would be great if we could score an early hit there. Right, let's try to run straight at the enemy here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach both of these groups so that they can maneuver independently. And the main reason for that really is that I can avoid torpedoes a little bit better and have a little bit more control of what these guys are doing. Very nice synchronous turn here. I am guessing that they're probably going to start fire soon. It did look like we had them almost within range there. Yeah, these guys are going to fire up on us very soon. He's probably going to start to turn his things in a moment. Yeah, you are there as well. We can see the destroyer's probably over there. Yeah, and you can see it's almost within range now. Yeah, very soon we're going to start to open up fire. There you can see our first shells splashing about. Very poor firing rate though, very poor firing angle. This guy is gonna come into the joy of being targeted by our secondaries. We do need to run somewhat a little bit more here in that direction so that we are on a good intercept course. Very low chances of hitting for the moment. Yeah, you can see almost the very, very ballistic trajectory here. We are running in at full speed, so hopefully that is gonna result in some better hit chances as we are coming in. But the flip side is of course also true, so that's also going to be true for them. This looks like the heavy cruiser here. Now, do you have any torpedo tubes? Yeah, you do. In the rear. Triple torpedo launches in the rear. We'll need to be mindful of that, otherwise we're going to lose a point for you. Right. Haven't really got that much intel on these guys yet. We are still closing in though. Have you turned about? No, you're still running to the left here. Right, we can actually check. So that's 2.1. Yeah, okay, it's much more likely to hit the battleship. Exactly, we've just scored a hit here on the battlecruiser, which, if you're going to score a couple of these, that might already be a very good start. On the other hand, that was very close here to Vladivostok. And let's wiggle around a little bit with her. Try to throw off their aim at least a little bit. I mean, 200 damage on them is not as much as we would like to see, but you can see the flooding here is already fairly substantial, so it would be fairly lovely to score some hits on you here. We've got this gentleman. Now, what's your range here with the torps? 12 kilometers. You're going to start to launch on Vladivostok soon. But I think we are going to have some intel on you very soon as well, so that is going to be nice here. But you have recovered almost all of your float damage there. Question is, are we going to shoot at you here for a moment just to get rid of the torpedoes? You are a big torpedo threat. You know what? Let's actually open up fire on the heavy cruiser there. It is not going to give us any points, but it just might be that much more convenient to get rid of it while we are pretty close. And he is fairly sure to launch torpedoes at Vladivostok pretty soon. Yeah, okay, that's a good hit there. I'm thinking that was probably over penetration. No, not quite, but still, I do think it might make some sense here to use high explosive weapons against the heavy cruiser. He's taking on some water, that's nice to see. But other than that, of course, we do need to be... Okay, he has launched torpedoes. Let's turn about here with you. You're also going to go a little bit there to the right. I don't think they're going to come at you. I think they are going to come at Vladivostok. But let's see. Right. Notice how this turret can swing about all the way forward. That's a very nice 360-degree rotation. So that means as we are turning a little bit around here, that is still a good look on him. So we can keep the gun train pretty much on him too, which is fairly nice usually. Well, frankly, I would have hoped that we were going to do a little bit more damage here, and that is a very late observation of his torps. Why is that? Do you have any electrical torpedo tubes or anything like that? Yes, these are electrical torpedoes. That's a bad sign. If the other guys do have electrical torpedoes too, that means we are very unlikely to see them launching anything there. Okay, there's the first significant hit here with the 17-inch gun on us. At least I'm hoping that Cormoran is not going to survive this much longer. Right, you, my friend, need to come in a little bit faster like that. And you probably want to do that too. Yeah, Cormoran. Yeah, she's launched another volley there. Let's turn about. I really don't want to run into any of these electrical torpedoes. That would be kind of crummy. That would lose us a point just like that. Come on, come on, go down. Yeah, there we go. Okay, fine. Right, let's see whether she did manage to get off anything. Right, we've got a couple of torpedoes on you. Let's actually check whether you also have these electrical, because that would be really annoying. Yes, okay. Yeah, so it is going to be really annoying. Right, let's go for Wuppertal or Sachsen. Right, how are you looking? Maximum bulkheads? Yeah, the AI really has become much, much better. Few bulkheads on Wuppertal. And you've got coincidental rangefinders Mark 5. You've got stereoscopic ones. Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to go for Wuppertal here because she seems to be the more vulnerable ship. And there's certainly something to be said about taking her out early. But I am very concerned about the 20-inch guns. I say that, and immediately I get hit for 25 damage in a single volley here by two of their shells. Right, there we go. That's the torpedoes that I was talking about. Seems to be fine. I think we've avoided them relatively neatly here, but still, yeah, for now at least. Right, okay. You guys should be fine there too. And actually do try to shoot at the destroyer here with your secondaries, please. Oh, and please do use auto guns. No point in shooting high explosive at these guys. What's going on here? More torpedoes? Yeah, seems to be fine though. Not too worried about these. It's coming just behind Vladivostok here. Vladivostok has taken pretty much of a beating there. Oh, but look at that. That's very nice to see. One of the guns of Wuppertal has been taken out, the rear one here. That's a third gun for firepower. Do we still want to target you? Or do we want to shift fire now? I think we might actually at this point shift fire on Sachsen. Sachsen might at this point be simply the bigger threat. Yes, Wuppertal will be easier to take out, but Sachsen is simply, well, it's tempting. It's tempting to keep firing at Wuppertal, but Sachsen is the more dangerous ship. All in all, Wuppertal is gonna fall behind a little bit. Doesn't matter too much though. She still has a forward-facing gun turret there that can and will do a lot of damage. We could split fire. Historically, that would have been a good choice. She's almost coming down here. You know what? She's taken so much damage here. Just let's try to finish her off. It would be lovely if we could score a hit there and cause some flooding. That would certainly be very welcome. That would do a lot of good things for us. 34% buoyancy though. Yes, that's a good hit. That's some fire there. No flooding though. We do need some flooding on her. Seems like Omsk is overtaking Vladivostok, which I do think is slightly awkward. I think there's no friendly fire, except for torpedoes, obviously, which we've seen at some point. At some point, we had actually a ship being topped by one of our own, not just by one of our ships, but actually by. Oh, we definitely. Whoa! We completely overlooked that destroyer here. And she's out of torpedoes, which must mean she has fired them. I don't think we've suffered a torpedo hit yet, but I definitely want to not take any risks here. We're going to make a hard turn, choose starboard, hoping to avoid any torpedoes that might be in the water. And because they are electrical, they're going to be extremely difficult to spot, and they might already be like over here. At which point we are out of luck. But on the other hand, gee, they just might not be. It just might be that we're lucky here. Speaking of, actually, might not make sense to target this destroyer here with our secondaries even. Might actually go for the other destroyer there. Oh, there we go. See? That is what I was talking about. These guys would have shredded us to pieces. Or at least they would have for sure made it extremely unlikely for us to be scoring any hits. Okay, you know what? Ohms can take point here. Let's do circle around. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to shift fire on the other destroyer, because this guy, he's out of torpedoes. He's not going to be much of a threat for us anymore. So whereas the other guy still has torpedoes. So even though he's much farther away, and we are very, very unlikely to actually score a hit there, we still might. He's still the bigger threat. I'm very comfortable ignoring the other destroyer here. Right, let's turn about over here towards the enemy so that we are presenting a smaller target. That does mean we're not going to be able to use our rear turret, but still, I think it's usually a good idea. There we go. Okay, Wuppertal sunk. That's our point here that we do need. Let's try to get Sachsen without any torpedo hit on our end and any flash fire, and we would certainly be golden there too. Right, come on Sachsen. Some over penetration here on Vladivostok. Oh, there's some flooding. That's nice to see. Yeah, although she's not really flooding. It seems to be much more correlated here in Alpha 12 to actual structural damage, at least on battleships. That is a little bit my experience. So I do not quite think that we're going to take her down with just flooding. It is probably going to take some. Notice how she's now shifted far to Omsk, which is nice. We are firing on this destroyer too. We need to be very, very careful here, because at some point he is going to launch his torps, and that's just not going to be a good sight for us. Am I actually firing on him? No, you're not. You should be though. Yeah, some minimal damage there on them. They've got pretty good everything really, so. Okay, Omsk is taking point. That does mean she's at this point taking more damage too. 260 points there. I'm still hoping that with our frontal assault like this. Okay, there are some torpedoes in the water. Let's actually try to turn away here. I think that is going to be the better idea. At this point it does become a little bit meaningless to actually target you though. So I'm guessing we can actually target you there. With the secondaries at least. Primary is still firing on Sachsen, of course. Okay, here are some torps there. Wow, that's unfortunate. Right, let's try to run straight here. I think that's gonna be the best idea. You know what? We're actually gonna execute a turn here, a hard turn to the right side. Yeah, that's gonna work out. You guys can actually turn a little bit to the right here too. Don't run into that place. And that is gonna be alright. Yeah, there we go. Fine. Everyone continue on your normal path here. Right, let's actually check. So these destroyers both out of ammo from torps. Sachsen does have some torps too, so we should keep that in mind. We shouldn't completely neglect that. Everyone is targeting Sachsen, except for you guys with the secondaries. Let's just make double sure that we've got everything locked in place here. Right, we are scoring some flooding hits here. So that's nice. We are down to 7 kilometers and a very high hit chance there. So that is certainly nice. On the other hand, we are exposing our complete broadside here too, which I certainly dislike to see. And we're shooting through the fog here due to DDV2 from the Germans. Right. I'm guessing we can go down to 28 knots here with both of these ships. Be a little bit more accurate. We're not too concerned about any enemy torpedoes anymore. I am only going to be concerned about flash fires. And of course the still the torpedoes of Sachsen itself. Right. Doing some damage here against the destroyer. That's not the point. Sachsen really is the point at this stage. She's losing a lot of integrity here, but she still has all of her turrets operational. So we will need to take her down the hard way. And you can see the flooding is really not bad on her. It is thankfully a little bit better on destroyers though, so that's good. But is it gonna be good enough? Well, you're gonna go down. Saxon, and Saxon, we really need Saxon. If we do get Saxon, that is gonna be 2 guaranteed points. If we can score that without any torpedo and flash fire, that would be so brilliant. Okay, I'm gonna shift all fire now on Saxon because really, at this point, she's so low on structural integrity, and that I do think that actually even the small arms fire might cause some damage here in terms of fires, which just might be enough to throw her out of the race. And again, the destroyers really. A, the destroyers don't actually give us any points, and B, they're not a threat. Yeah, you can see the minimal damage here that we're doing with some of these things, but the more substantial damage that we're doing with our main guns. Secondary is being taken out. Flash fire, there we go. That's of course fine because it's on them, not on us. But yeah, let's see. Right, let's take out these destroyers. I don't actually think we need to. I think we at this point could call it a day. But you know what? They're just right over here, and I do not expect there to be any mishap over here. I don't think Saxon has gotten any chance to throw off any of her torpedoes. So yeah, there we go. Everyone's sinking. That is good to see. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Do check out my competitors and do keep an eye on Pascal, who will be commenting and actually telling our scores. From my end, I think we did pretty well this time, but probably some competitors did too. So let's see how we're going to be. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.